The phone rang so loud it felt like it punched the dark. Grandma Grace jolted awake, heart racing. The clock on her bedside table glowed 3 a.m. in red numbers. For 1 second, she thought it was a mistake. Nobody calls at this time unless something is wrong. She grabbed the phone with shaking fingers. "Hello?" A sound exploded through the speaker, someone screaming so hard it hurt her ear. "Mom! Mom!" Noah's voice cracked like it was breaking in half. "Come! Please, come now!" Grandma Grace sat up fast, her blanket sliding off. "Noah, what happened? Are you hurt?" "My wife!" He sucked in air like he was drowning. She left me, Mom! Come get your grandkids now!" The words hit Grandma Grace like ice water. "Where are you?" she demanded. I don't know what to do," Noah cried. "I woke up and she was gone. I can't find her. The kids, Mom, please." Grandma Grace was already moving. She swung her feet onto the floor, pushed them into slippers, and reached for her coat hanging on the chair. Her hands were fast, but her mind was faster, racing through every scary thought at once. "Listen to me," she said, low and sharp. "Are the kids safe right now?" There was a pause. A horrible pause. Noah's breathing turned into soft, broken sobs. I'm not home," he whispered. Grandma Grace's stomach twisted. "What do you mean you're not home?" she snapped. "I went for a drive," Noah choked out. "We fought earlier. I didn't want the kids to hear. I thought she'd cool down. I thought she'd be there when I came back." Grandma Grace pressed the phone tight to her ear. "Where are you exactly?" "Near the old gas station." I don't know. Grandma Grace closed her eyes for half a second, forcing herself to stay calm. Panic was a fire. If she carried it into the night, it would burn everything. "Okay," she said, "get in your car and drive home. Right now. I'm on my way." She ended the call before he could argue. Grandma Grace didn't turn on every light. She didn't waste time. She pulled her coat on, grabbed her keys, and slipped her feet into shoes without tying them all the way. Outside, the air was cold and heavy, like the whole neighborhood was holding its breath. Her car started with a rough cough. She backed out fast, tires crunching over gravel. The street was empty, dark, and quiet. Too quiet. The kind of quiet that makes your skin feel prickly. As she drove, her mind tried to picture the children. Tommy, older, smart eyes, always watching. Nina, small, soft, scared of loud noises, alone in a house at 3 a.m. Grandma Grace gripped the steering wheel harder. "No," she whispered. "No, no, no." A few minutes later, she turned onto Noah's street. The houses sat like sleeping animals. One porch light blinked. A stray cat darted across the road. Then she saw Noah's house. The front light was off, no car in the driveway, and the curtains. They moved. Just a little. Grandma Grace parked so fast she almost scraped the curb. She jumped out and hurried to the front door. She knocked once. Nothing. She knocked again, louder. "Tommy, Nina, it's Grandma." For a moment she heard only the hum of the night. Then soft footsteps. Slow, careful. The door opened a tiny crack. A small face appeared in the gap. Tommy. His hair was messy, like he had been asleep and then woke up too fast. His eyes were wide and glassy. His mouth tried to form a smile, but it didn't work. "Grandma?" he whispered, like he wasn't sure she was real. Grandma Grace's heart broke in one clean snap. She pushed the door open and knelt down, holding his shoulders gently. "Yes, baby, I'm here." Tommy swallowed hard. "Dad isn't here." "I know," Grandma said. Her voice stayed steady, even though her chest felt tight. "Where's your mum?" Tommy's eyes dropped to the floor. "I don't know," he said. "She left." Grandma Grace stood up slowly, her eyes scanning the room. The house was dim. Only the blue light from the TV screen lit the living room, even though nothing was playing. A blanket lay half on the floor. A toy truck sat upside down near the couch. "Nina?" Grandma called softly. A small sound came from behind the couch, like a tiny animal hiding. Grandma walked around and found Nina curled up in a ball, hugging a pillow like it was the only safe thing in the world. Nina's cheeks were wet. Her nose was red. When she saw Grandma, she reached out both arms without saying a word. Grandma Grace lifted her carefully and held her close. Nina's body trembled. "It's okay," Grandma whispered. "You're not alone. Grandma's here." Nina pressed her face into Grandma's coat. Tommy stood near the door, still guarding it like he thought someone might come in. Grandma Grace walked to the kitchen, Nina still in her arms. She flicked on the light. The kitchen looked normal at first, but normal can be a trick. The sink had one cup inside it, like someone had rinsed it quickly and left. A drawer was not fully closed, and on the table, a single sheet of paper. Grandma Grace lowered Nina onto a chair and told Tommy, "Stay right here. Don't move." Then she picked up the paper. Her eyes ran over the words. 3 words, written in a hurry, like the hand was shaking. "Don't follow me." Grandma Grace's fingers went cold. She stared at it, not breathing, because those words didn't sound like a normal goodbye. They sounded like a warning. And right then from the hallway, Tommy's voice came out small and scared. "Grandma, I heard Mum on the phone before she left." Grandma Grace turned so fast her coat swung. Tommy's eyes were wide again. "She said..." Tommy swallowed. "She said, I'm already going to the airport." Grandma Grace's skin prickled all over. "The airport," she whispered. Tommy nodded once, and Grandma Grace suddenly understood something terrible. This wasn't a moment decision. This was a plan, and the person who planned it had left 2 children behind in the dark. Grandma Grace's phone buzzed in her pocket. A message from Noah. Just 2 words. "She's abroad." Grandma Grace stared at the screen, her heart hammering. Because if Clara was already out of the country, then what else had she taken with her? And what had she left behind, besides 2 frightened kids? Grandma Grace did not sleep after that night. Even when the kids finally dozed off on her couch, she stayed awake, sitting upright like a guard. The house was quiet, but her mind was loud. Every time the wind tapped the window, she looked up. Every time the floor creaked, she held her breath. At sunrise, and she made warm porridge. She cut a banana into little slices and placed them on top like small yellow moons. Nina ate slowly, still wrapped in Grandma's old scarf. Tommy ate fast, like he was afraid the food might disappear. Noah came to Grandma's house after the sun was up. He looked like he had not slept at all. His face was pale, his eyes were swollen. He stood in the doorway like he didn't know if he was allowed inside. Grandma Grace walked right up to him. Before he could speak, she slapped him across the cheek. It wasn't a hard slap to hurt him. It was a sharp slap to wake him. Noah blinked, shocked. Grandma's voice stayed calm, but it shook with anger. 2 children were alone at 3 in the morning. Noah's lips trembled. Mum? No, Grandma said, raising her hand. Not yet. You will talk later. First, you will look at them. Noah stepped into the living room. The children were both there, sitting close together. Nina's hair was messy. Tommy's eyes were tired, like he had aged a year in one night. Noah's face crumpled. He dropped to his knees in front of them. I'm sorry, he whispered. I'm so sorry. Tommy didn't move. He didn't cry. He just stared at his father as if he was trying to understand who he was looking at. Nina leaned into Tommy's shoulder. Grandma Grace watched, her chest burning. Then she turned away to the kitchen so the kids wouldn't see her eyes. While the kettle boiled, Grandma's mind kept sliding backward, back into the weeks before the phone call. Back into the small signs she had noticed and tried not to fear. It started with silence. Clara used to call Grandma Grace sometimes. Not often, but enough. And sure, she would say things like, "The kids miss you," or "Noah is working too much," or even, "Do you have a soup recipe?" She wasn't warm, but she wasn't cold either. Then, little by little, the calls stopped. When Grandma called Clara, it rang and rang. Sometimes it went to voicemail. Sometimes Clara answered, but her voice sounded far away, like she was speaking from another room. I'm busy, Clara would say. Talk later. Later never came. One afternoon, Grandma Grace visited Noah's house with a bag of oranges and bread. She was expecting noise, kids laughing, cartoons, someone calling from the kitchen. Instead, she walked into a home that felt like a library. Tommy and Nina sat on the floor playing without talking. The TV was on, but the volume was low. Noah was in the kitchen, rubbing his forehead, staring at his phone. Clara was at the table with her own phone. It was face down. Her hands were folded tight like she was holding in anger. Grandma Grace smiled gently. Hello, Clara. Clara's smile appeared for 1 second and then vanished. Hello. Grandma set the food down. I brought oranges. The good ones. Clara nodded without looking up. Grandma Grace noticed something strange right away. On the counter near the fruit bowl was a thin folder. A passport folder. It wasn't tucked away. It was sitting out like it was important. Grandma pointed lightly, like she didn't care. Travel papers? Clara's eyes flashed. Just sorting. Noah laughed too loudly. She's just cleaning. You know her. But Grandma Grace knew what cleaning looked like. Cleaning didn't make your jaw tight. Cleaning didn't make your eyes look like they were holding a secret. Grandma stayed for dinner that day. She watched them the way a mother watches a storm from a window, quietly, but ready to move if the glass breaks. Noah tried to act normal. He asked Tommy about school. He made jokes. He smiled too much. Clara ate little. She picked at her food like she didn't taste it. At one point, Nina spilled water by accident. A small spill. Just a little. Clara's chair scraped back so fast it made a harsh sound. Nina froze. Clara stared at Nina with a face that was not angry but tight like a rope pulled too far. Be careful, Clara said, slow and sharp. Nina's lip trembled. Grandma Grace reached over and wiped the spill with a napkin. It's okay, she said quickly. It's only water. Clara sat back down. Eddie breathing hard through her nose like she was trying to calm herself. For a moment, Grandma saw fear in Clara's eyes, not fear of the kids, fear of something else. Later that evening, Grandma stood near the hallway. She needed the bathroom. As she passed the guest room, she noticed the closet door was open a crack. Inside, she saw a suitcase, not packed, not open, just gone. The closet floor looked too clean, like something had been moved. Grandma's stomach tightened. She went to the bathroom, washed her hands, and looked into the mirror. Her own eyes stared back, serious and worried. When she came out, she saw Clara in the kitchen. Clara was holding her phone, typing quickly, then deleting, then typing again. Her face was pale. Grandma walked closer, softly. "Clara, are you okay?" Clara flinched like Grandma had shouted. Then she forced a smile. "Yes, fine." Grandma didn't believe her. She waited until Noah stepped outside to take out the trash. Then she spoke low, so the kids wouldn't hear. "Noah," Grandma said when he came back in. "Something is wrong." Noah rolled his eyes like a tired teenager. "Mum, don't start." "I'm not starting," Grandma said. "I'm seeing." Noah leaned against the counter. "She's stressed. She's a mum. She's a wife. She's tired." Grandma pointed toward the living room where the kids were sitting too quietly. "They're tired too. And they're scared." Noah's face hardened. "They're fine," Grandma's voice sharpened. "Are you sure? Or are you just hoping?" Noah opened his mouth, then shut it. His eyes darted away. Grandma lowered her voice again. "Listen to me. If she needs help, get it. If something is happening, don't pretend it's not." Noah's shoulders rose. "You always think the worst." Grandma stepped closer. "Because the worst happens when people stop paying attention." That night, before Grandma left, Clara came to the door with the children. She hugged Nina quickly, patted Tommy's head, and stood back like she didn't want to touch anyone too long. Grandma watched Clara's eyes. They were glossy like she had cried earlier, and tried to hide it. As Grandma walked to her car, she heard the front door close behind her. Then she heard something else. A muffled voice. Clara's voice. And it sounded like she was arguing. Grandma paused near her car, listening. She couldn't hear words clearly, only the tone, fast, tense, almost scared. Then silence. Grandma got into her car and drove home with her hands tight on the wheel. The next day, she tried calling Clara. No answer. She tried again that evening. No answer. On the third day, Grandma finally received a message from Clara. Just one line. "I need space." Grandma stared at the screen for a long time. Space was not what Clara needed. Space was what people asked for when they were already halfway gone. Grandma typed back fast. "Are you safe? Where are you?" The message stayed unread, and now, sitting at her kitchen table with Noah's children eating porridge, Grandma Grace finally understood the truth. Those weeks had not been normal. They had been a countdown. And she had felt it. She had warned him, but Noah had tried to smile the danger away. Grandma Grace set down the spoon in her hand. She looked across the table at Tommy and Nina. Then she looked at Noah, who was still kneeling near them, whispering apologies. Grandma's voice was quiet but firm. "Today," she said, "we stop guessing. We stop hoping. We find out exactly what happened." Noah looked up. eyes wet. Grandma Grace leaned closer. "And if your wife thinks she can vanish without a trace," Grandma said, "she is going to learn something about grandmothers." Because Grandma Grace was done being polite. And somewhere far away, in another country, Clara's phone was still off. But Grandma Grace had a feeling. Clara wasn't as free as she wanted everyone to believe. Noah sat at Grandma Grace's kitchen table like his bones were made of paper. The children were behind him on the couch. Tommy kept one arm around Nina. Nina held Grandma's scarf like it was a shield. Grandma Grace placed a mug of tea in front of Noah. "Drink," she said. And Noah stared at the mug as if he didn't know what tea was. "I can't," he whispered. "Yes, you can," Grandma said. Her voice was steady, but her eyes were sharp. "Your kids are watching you." Noah blinked hard. He lifted the mug with trembling hands and took a small sip. His throat bobbed. Grandma sat across from him. "Now tell me the truth. The whole truth, not the soft version." Noah swallowed. I found something." He pulled out his phone. His screen was bright against his pale face. His thumb shook as he tapped. Grandma leaned forward. "What did you find?" Noah's voice cracked. "An email, a booking." He turned the phone toward Grandma. Grandma Grace read the screen slowly, carefully, like the words might bite her. A flight confirmation, a destination, Czech Republic. Her mouth went dry. "You're sure this is hers?" Grandma asked. Noah nodded fast. "It's her email, it's her name, it's real." Grandma kept her face calm for the kids, but inside something turned cold and heavy. "So she didn't just walk out," Grandma said. "She left the country." Noah wiped his face with his sleeve like a child. "And there's more." He tapped again. A photo loaded. Clara was standing beside a man Grandma had never seen before. The man had a neat jacket, a smile that looked practiced, and an arm placed close to Clara, not hugging, but claiming space. Grandma Grace studied Clara's face in the photo. Clara was smiling, but her eyes were not. Her eyes looked tight, flat, like she was trying to survive the moment. "Who is he?" Grandma asked. Noah's voice dropped to a whisper. Milan?" Grandma repeated the name like she was tasting it. "Milan." Noah nodded, breathing fast again. "She told me weeks ago she met someone online. She said he was just a friend. She said he lived abroad and needed help with a business thing. I told her to stop talking to strangers." Grandma's eyebrows lifted. "And did she stop?" Noah looked down. "No." Grandma Grace didn't yell. She didn't scream. She didn't have time for that. The house was full of children's fear. Fear grew when adults became storms. Instead, she turned to Tommy. "Tommy," she said gently, "come here for a second." Tommy hesitated, then walked over, keeping Nina in his sight. He stood by Grandma's chair. Grandma lowered her voice. "Before your mum left, did you see anything, hear anything? Anyone come to the house?" Tommy's fingers twisted together. "Hey, no one came inside?" "Did Mum pack bags?" Grandma asked. Tommy nodded once. "She packed when Dad was not home." "Did she say goodbye?" Grandma asked. Tommy looked at the floor. "She told us, 'I'll be back soon.'" Nina made a tiny sound, like a hiccup. "She said not to cry," Nina whispered. "She said it was a trip." Grandma's chest tightened. A trip. A mother does not leave at night like a thief and call it a trip. Grandma reached out and rubbed Nina's back. You're safe here, she said softly. You did nothing wrong. Nina's eyes filled again, but she didn't cry loud this time. She only pressed closer to Tommy. Grandma stood up. Noah, she said, did you call the police? Noah flinched like the word police was a slap. No. Grandma stared at him. Why not? I thought. Noah's voice rose then fell. I thought she'd come back. I thought if I called the police it would be bigger. Everyone would know. Grandma's eyes narrowed. Everyone already knows something is wrong. Your kids knew first. Noah's shoulders shook. He looked like he might fall apart again. Grandma exhaled slowly. Then she said, I'm calling. Noah's head snapped up. Mum. Grandma held up her hand. Enough. I'm not asking permission to protect children. She stepped into the hallway so the kids wouldn't hear every word. She called the local station and spoke clearly, giving the address, the names, the time Noah received the call, and the fact that 2 children were left alone overnight. When she ended the call, she stood still for 1 second, letting herself feel the fear she had been holding back. Then she went back into the kitchen with her shoulders squared. Noah looked at her like she had just changed the whole world. What if she gets mad? He asked, voice small. Grandma Grace replied, she should be mad at herself. A knock sounded at the front door. Grandma's head lifted instantly. She wasn't surprised, not really. She had felt eyes on this house the moment she arrived last night. Neighbours noticed things. Grandma opened the door. Mrs. Patel stood there in a sweater and slippers, holding a small plastic container. I brought food, Mrs. Patel said softly, for the children. Grandma took it. Thank you. Mrs. Patel leaned in, lowering her voice like she didn't want the walls to hear. I saw her leave. Grandma's heart thumped. When? Last evening, Mrs. Patel said. Suitcase, a car picked her up. She got in fast, like she was late. Noah stood behind Grandma now, listening, eyes wide. Mrs. Patel's brows pinched together. And earlier, I heard her outside, on the phone. She was speaking very fast, not happy fast, scared fast. Grandma's stomach sank deeper. Did she say any names? Grandma asked. Mrs. Patel shook her head. No, but she kept looking down the street, like she was checking if someone was watching. Grandma's grip tightened on the food container. Watching. Grandma looked back at Noah. His face had turned a new colour, grey, like he was losing blood. Noah, Grandma said quietly, go sit with the kids. Noah nodded, stumbling toward the living room like his legs didn't work right. Grandma closed the door and faced Mrs. Patel again. Did you notice anything else? She asked. Mrs. Patel hesitated, then said, oh, one more thing. She left the porch light off, but she didn't usually do that, and she didn't look back at the house, not even once. Grandma's jaw tightened. A mother who does not look back is either very cold or very afraid. Grandma thanked Mrs. Patel and walked back inside, the air in the house feeling heavier now. She went straight to the kitchen table and picked up the note again. Don't follow me. She looked at the children. She looked at Noah. Then she looked at the photo on Noah's phone. Clara beside Milan, smiling with empty eyes. Grandma Grace spoke like she was making a promise out loud. Clara is in the Czech Republic, she said, and that man is part of this. Noah's voice trembled. What do we do? Grandma Grace didn't raise her voice. She didn't need to. We do the next right thing, she said. We tell the truth. We keep the kids safe. And we find out whether your wife left by choice or because someone pushed her. Outside, a car slowed near the house. Grandma noticed the sound through the window. It didn't stop. It kept moving, but Grandma Grace still watched until it was gone, her eyes narrow, her body still, because now she knew something for sure. This was not just a broken marriage. This was a missing person story. And Grandma Grace was not going to let it swallow her family. The police car pulled up just after lunch. Grandma Grace saw it through the window first. She did not jump. She did not panic. She only stood up, wiped her hands on a towel and told Tommy, "Stay with Nina. Keep the TV low." Tommy nodded like a little soldier. Noah was pacing in the hallway, rubbing his face over and over. "I can't believe this is happening," he whispered. "It's happening whether you believe it or not," Grandma said. "So stand up straight." A knock came at the door. Grandma opened it and found a calm-looking officer in a neat uniform. He was not young, but not old either. His eyes looked tired in a kind way, like he had seen many hard days. "Good afternoon," he said. "I'm Officer Novak." Grandma stepped aside. "Come in. Thank you for coming." Officer Novak entered slowly, looking around with care. He didn't stare like a stranger. He looked like someone checking for danger. Noah rushed forward too fast. "My wife left," he blurted. "She went abroad. She left the kids alone. I didn't know. Officer Novak raised one hand. "One at a time," he said gently. "Let's sit. Let's breathe." They sat at the kitchen table. Grandma Grace stayed beside Noah, close enough to keep him steady if he started shaking again. Officer Novak took out a small notebook. "Tell me the timeline," he said. "Start from the last time you saw your wife in person." Noah took a breath that sounded like it hurt. "Yesterday evening. We argued. I left the house to drive around. I came back late. And she was gone." "How late?" Officer Novak asked. Noah blinked. "After midnight." "And the children were home?" the officer asked. Noah's shoulders dropped. "Yes." Grandma Grace watched Officer Novak's pen pause for a second. Not angry, just serious. Officer Novak looked up. "What time did you first realize she wasn't home?" Noah swallowed. 3 a.m. I woke up. The house felt wrong, too quiet. I checked the bedroom. She wasn't there. Her phone was off. I called my mother." Officer Novak nodded, writing, "And your mother arrived and found the children alone." "Yes," Grandma said. "Tommy opened the door. Nina was hiding." Officer Novak turned his head toward the living room. "Can I see the children for a moment? I won't scare them. I just want to make sure they're okay." Grandma stood. "I'll bring them." She walked to the couch. Tommy had his arm around Nina again. Nina was holding the scarf again. Both of them watched the officer like he was a loud dog they weren't sure about. Grandma knelt. "This is Officer Novak," she said softly. "He's here to help. He's not here to take you away." Tommy nodded, but his eyes stayed sharp. Officer Novak crouched down at a safe distance, not too close. "Hello," he said quietly. You did a brave thing opening the door for your grandma." Tommy's mouth twitched like he wanted to smile but forgot how. "Okay." Officer Novak looked at Nina. "Hi, Nina. You're safe right now, okay?" Nina stared at him, then nodded once, small. Officer Novak didn't push. He stood back up. "Thank you," he said. "You can stay right there." Grandma returned to the kitchen table with a heavy feeling in her chest. She wanted to wrap the children in a wall. Officer Novak's voice grew more serious. "Do you have your wife's passport number? Her full name? Any relatives abroad?" Noah shook his head. I didn't think I'd ever need that." Grandma Grace slid Noah's phone across the table. "We have the flight confirmation email," she said, "and a photo with the man she's with." Officer Novak studied the screen carefully. He zoomed in on the photo, looking at the man's face. "Milan," Noah said quickly. "That's his name." Officer Novak wrote it down. "Where did she meet him?" "Online," Noah admitted. Officer Novak's eyes lifted. "Did she ever send money? Or receive money?" Noah blinked like the question surprised him. "No, not that I know." Grandma Grace leaned forward. "Check your accounts," she said. "Now." Noah fumbled with his phone, opening his banking app. His fingers moved too fast, tapping wrong things. Grandma waited, not speaking, letting him struggle, then Noah froze. His face went blank. "What?" Grandma asked. Noah swallowed hard. "There are transfers." Officer Novak leaned in. "How many?" Noah scrolled. His thumb slowed as fear caught up to him. "Small amounts," he whispered, again and again. Like someone was testing." Grandma's skin went cold. "Did you make them?" she asked. Noah shook his head, eyes wide. "No, I swear." Officer Novak's jaw tightened. "That's important," he said. "We'll report it as possible fraud." Noah's breathing started to speed up again. Grandma reached across the table and placed her hand over his. "Breathe," she ordered. "Don't fall apart." Noah nodded, trying. Officer Novak asked, "Do you have anything from her? Notes? Messages?" Grandma Grace stood and walked to the counter. She took the paper from a drawer where she had hidden it away from the kids. She placed it in front of Officer Novak. He read the 3 words, "Don't follow me." He looked up slowly. "Where did you find this?" "On their kitchen table," Grandma said. "Last night." Officer Novak held the note with care, like it might have fingerprints. "This doesn't sound like someone leaving happily," he said. Noah's voice shook. "But she took a flight. That sounds planned." Officer Novak nodded. "Yes, it was planned. But planned doesn't always mean free." Grandma Grace stared at him. "What do you mean?" Officer Novak spoke carefully. "Sometimes people are pressured. Sometimes they're tricked. Sometimes they're afraid. A person can be both making choices and also trapped." Noah put his head in his hands. "I didn't see it," he whispered. "I didn't see any of it." Grandma Grace's voice softened just a little. "You didn't want to see it." Officer Novak continued, "We'll file a missing person report, but because you have a confirmed destination, we'll also contact the right channels. It may involve authorities abroad." Grandma felt a small, grim relief. At least something was moving now. At least this was not just fear sitting in a room. Then, as Grandma went to refill the kettle, she noticed something near the front door. A tiny backpack. Nina's backpack. It was sitting on the floor like it had been dropped in a hurry. Grandma picked it up, meaning to put it away. The zipper on a small side pocket was half open. Grandma's fingers paused. Slowly, she opened it the rest of the way and peeked inside. There was a folded paper tucked deep, like someone hid it and forgot it was there. Grandma unfolded it carefully. A hotel name, a city, Prague, and a time written in pen. Grandma's throat went tight. She turned back to the table and placed the paper in front of Officer Novak. Noah looked up, confused. "Oh, what is that?" Grandma Grace stared at the words like they might change if she blinked. "Something your wife hid," she said. Officer Novak read it once, then twice. His face stayed calm, but his eyes sharpened. "This," he said, tapping the paper lightly, "is a lead." Noah's hands started to shake again. "Why would it be in Nina's bag?" he asked. Grandma's voice was low. Either she wanted someone to find it, or she panicked and made a mistake. Officer Novak placed the paper beside the note, then looked at Grandma and Noah. "For now," he said firmly, "the children stay safe, and we follow the facts." Grandma Grace nodded once. Facts were better than guesses. And for the first time since the 3 a.m. call, Grandma Grace felt something else mix with fear, a hard, steady determination. Because whoever thought they could pull her family apart and disappear had not planned for Grandma Grace. The next day felt like it had sharp corners. Even the sunlight looked cold. Grandma Grace was in the kitchen packing a bag when Noah walked in. He looked like he had shrunk overnight. His shoulders were down. His eyes were tired and red. "I brought clothes for the kids," he said, holding up 2 small backpacks. Grandma Grace took them without smiling. "Good." Noah's voice was quiet. Officer Novak said someone from Child Services might come. Grandma Grace nodded. "They should. 2 kids were left alone. People will ask questions." Noah flinched. "Will they take them away?" Grandma Grace turned to face him fully. "Not if we do everything right. Not if we stay calm and honest." Noah rubbed his hands together like he was trying to wash off guilt. "I didn't mean—" "I know what you meant," Grandma said. "But what matters now is what you..." In the living room, Tommy was building a tower with blocks. He kept making it tall, then knocking it down, then building again. Nina sat beside him, drawing circles on paper. She kept colouring the circles darker and darker until they looked like holes. Grandma Grace watched them for a moment. Then she went to the shelf and took down an old photo album. She placed it on the coffee table. Tommy looked up. Grandma sat beside them. "This is when your father was small," she said. Tommy opened the album slowly. A photo showed Noah as a little boy, missing a front tooth, holding a balloon. Nina giggled softly. It was the first small laugh Grandma had heard from her since the night before. Grandma Grace felt her chest loosen a little. Then the doorbell rang. The sound was gentle, but it made Noah jump like a loud bang. Grandma stood. "Stay here," she told the kids, then walked to the door. A woman stood outside with a plain notebook and a calm face. She wore a simple coat and flat shoes. Her hair was tied back tight like she didn't waste time on it. "Ms. Irena," the woman said. "Child welfare." Grandma Grace stepped aside. "Come in." Ms. Irena entered and looked around. She didn't smile much, but she didn't look mean. Her eyes were careful, like she was measuring safety. Noah came forward quickly. "I'm the father," he said. "I know I messed up, Ms. Irena lifted one hand. "I'm here to understand, not to fight," she said. "Let's sit." They sat at the kitchen table again. It felt like the table had turned into a place where bad news lived. Ms. Irena opened her notebook. "2 children were left unsupervised overnight," she said. "I need to ask questions. Please answer clearly." Noah nodded too fast. "Okay," Ms. Irena asked. "Where were you?" Noah swallowed. "Driving. I left after an argument." Ms. Irena asked, "Did you know your wife planned to travel?" Noah shook his head. "No." Ms. Irena asked, "Do you have support?" Noah looked at Grandma. "Yes, my mother." Ms. Irena turned to Grandma Grace. "Can the children stay here safely?" Grandma Grace's voice was firm. "Yes, I have food, beds, school supplies. I can take them to school. I can keep them safe." Ms. Irena nodded, writing. Then she asked the hardest question. "Are there any risks in the family? Fighting, yelling, money trouble, anyone who could hurt the children?" Noah opened his mouth, then closed it. His eyes flicked away. Grandma Grace felt a hot anger rise in her throat. This was not the time for pride. She leaned forward. "There has been tension," she said, "because Clara changed. She became distant. She was on the phone a lot. We believe someone abroad may have influenced her." Ms. Irena's pen paused. "You believe she may be in danger?" Grandma Grace answered honestly. "I don't know, but the note she left said, 'Don't follow me.' That doesn't feel normal." Noah whispered, "And there were money transfers we didn't recognize." Ms. Irena wrote that down too. She looked up at Noah. "You need to cooperate fully with the police," she said. "You also need to show stability. That means routine, supervision, and support." Noah nodded, but his eyes looked watery again. "I'll do anything." Ms. Irena glanced toward the living room. "May I speak to the children briefly?" Grandma stood. "I will be there." They walked together. Miss Irena crouched down, just like Officer Novak had. "Hello," she said gently. "I'm Miss Irena. I check that kids are safe." Tommy didn't smile. "We're safe here," he said quickly. Miss Irena nodded. "I can see your grandma is taking good care of you." Nina held Grandma's sleeve tight. "Will my mum come back?" Nina whispered. Ms. Irena didn't lie, she didn't promise. She spoke simply. "Right now, adults are working to find answers. Your job is to stay safe." Nina's eyes filled. Grandma rubbed her back. After a few more careful questions, Ms. Irena returned to the kitchen. "I will approve a temporary plan," she said. "The children stay with Grandma Grace for now. Noah, you will have regular contact, and you will follow police guidance. If you miss meetings or refuse help, it can become a bigger problem." Noah's face tightened. "I understand." Ms. Irena stood. "I'll check in again soon." When she left, the house felt quieter, like the air had been held tight and finally let go. Noah sank into a chair. "She talked like I'm a bad father." Grandma Grace looked at him. "You made a bad choice. That doesn't mean you have to keep making them." Noah's voice cracked. "I feel like I'm losing them." "You're not," Grandma said. "But you have to earn their trust back." That evening, Grandma made rice and soup. The children ate more than she expected. After dinner, Nina asked to take a bath. Tommy asked if he could sleep with the hallway light on. Grandma said yes to both. Later, when the kids were in pajamas, Tommy sat beside Grandma on the couch. His eyes were fixed on the floor. "Grandma," he whispered, "did Mum leave because of us?" Grandma Grace's heart squeezed. She turned his chin gently so he would look at her. "No," she said clearly. "Never. This is not your fault. Adults make adult choices." Tommy's eyes blinked fast. He tried to stay strong, but tears slipped out anyway. Quiet tears, like he didn't want anyone to hear. Grandma pulled him into a hug. She didn't talk too much. She just held him until his shoulders stopped shaking. Across the room, Noah stood in the doorway watching. He looked like he wanted to come closer but didn't know how. Grandma Grace met his eyes. Her look said, "Not later, not tomorrow, now." Noah walked over slowly and knelt near the couch. "Tommy," he said softly, "I'm sorry I wasn't there. I'm going to fix this. I promise." Tommy didn't answer right away. He only nodded once, small and tired. That night, after the kids fell asleep, Grandma Grace went back to the kitchen and opened her notebook. She wrote down every fact she knew: the note, the flight, the photo, the hotel name in Prague, the strange transfers. Then she wrote one more line, underlined twice: keep the kids safe, find the truth. And in the quiet, Grandma Grace made herself another promise. No matter how far Clara ran, and no matter who helped her run, this family would not stay in the dark. Grandma Grace woke up before the kids, like her body no longer trusted sleep. She sat at the kitchen table with her notebook open. The pages were filled with neat writing, times, dates, names, and the same 3 words circled again and again. "Don't follow me." She traced the circle once with her finger, then stopped. Staring at it too long made her feel like she was falling. A soft footstep came from the hallway. Tommy appeared in the doorway, rubbing one eye. His hair stood up in strange directions. "Are you okay?" he asked. Grandma Grace forced a gentle smile. "I'm okay. Come eat." He padded over and sat at the table. Grandma slid a bowl of cereal toward him and poured milk. Tommy ate quietly, listening to the house like he expected it to do something scary. Then Nina shuffled in, clutching the scarf again. Grandma pulled her close and kissed the top of her head. "Good morning, little one." Nina's voice was tiny. Is Dad coming today?" Grandma glanced at the clock. "Yes, he said he would come after work." Nina nodded, then looked around the room as if she still expected her mother to step out of a corner. Grandma didn't say, "She will come back soon." She didn't lie. She just said, "You are safe here." After breakfast, Grandma walked the kids to school. She held Nina's hand the whole way. Tommy walked on the other side, watching the street like he was older than he should be. When they reached the school gate, Tommy stopped. "Grandma," he whispered, "what if Mum doesn't want to be found?" Grandma Grace knelt so her face was level with his. "We don't know what she wants," she said. "We only know what you need, and you need adults who keep you safe." Tommy nodded slowly. Grandma watched them go inside, and then she stood outside the gate for a moment longer than normal, like she had to see them disappear completely before she could breathe. Back home, she had barely set her keys down when her phone rang. Unknown number. Her stomach tightened, but she answered. Hello? Mrs. Grace? A calm voice asked. This is Officer Novak. Grandma sat down fast. Any news? Yes, Officer Novak said. We confirmed that Clara's passport was scanned on arrival, so she is in the Czech Republic. Grandma's grip tightened on the phone. Part of her felt relief. At least Clara was alive. But another part felt fear. Alive didn't mean safe. Officer Novak continued. There's something else. We found that she asked about child travel documents days before leaving. Grandma's heart jumped. For Tommy and Nina? Yes, the officer replied. That's what it looks like. Grandma felt her throat go dry. So she planned to take them? Possibly, Officer Novak said. Or she planned to scare someone into thinking she would. We don't know yet. Grandma stared at her notebook. The paper in Nina's backpack flashed in her mind like a warning light. Officer, Grandma said slowly, if she planned to take the kids, why did she leave them? Officer Novak paused. That's a key question. Grandma exhaled through her nose, trying not to let anger take over. What do we do next? We're coordinating with the right offices, he said, but I want you to keep doing what you're doing. Keep the children safe, keep notes, and if you remember anything small, tell me. Grandma thanked him and ended the call. She sat still for a moment, staring at her own hands. Clara asked about documents for the kids, then left without them. That felt like a door opening to a darker room. A knock sounded at the door. Grandma's head snapped up. She didn't like surprises anymore. She walked to the door and checked the peephole first. Mrs. Patel stood outside, holding her purse and wearing a worried face. Grandma opened the door. Come in. Mrs. Patel entered and looked around like she expected the house to be broken. How are the children? At school, Grandma said. They are trying. Mrs. Patel's eyes softened. Good. Then she hesitated, shifting her purse from one hand to the other. I remembered something, she said. Grandma's chest tightened. Tell me. Mrs. Patel lowered her voice. A week ago I saw Clara outside the building. Not with you, not with Noah. With a stranger. Grandma's skin prickled. A man? Mrs. Patel nodded. Yes. He was not tall. He wore a dark cap. He didn't look like someone from around here. He handed her an envelope. Grandma's mouth went dry. Did she take it? Yes, Mrs. Patel whispered. And she looked scared. Not annoyed. Scared. Grandma felt a cold line form down her spine. Mrs. Patel continued. I asked, Are you okay? Clara smiled, but it was fake. She said, It's nothing. Then she went inside fast. Grandma's mind raced. Envelope, money, threats, a warning. Did you see his car? Grandma asked. Mrs. Patel shook her head. No. He walked away quickly. Grandma's hands curled into fists. She forced them open. Fear made the body tense, but she needed her mind clear. Mrs. Patel, Grandma said, this matters. I'm going to tell Officer Novak. Mrs. Patel nodded. Please do. I don't want to be in drama, but those kids, they don't deserve this. No, Grandma agreed. They don't. After Mrs. Patel left, Grandma called Officer Novak and repeated every detail. He listened carefully and thanked her. When she ended the call, she stared at the wall for a moment. A stranger gave Clara an envelope. Clara asked about child travel documents. Clara left with a new boyfriend abroad. And Noah's account had strange transfers. It didn't feel like love. It felt like pressure. That afternoon, Noah came by after work. He looked cleaner than before, like he had tried to pull himself together. But his eyes still carried shame. He stepped inside and stopped. "How are they?" "At school," Grandma said. "Sick." Noah sat at the table. Grandma placed her notebook in front of him. I spoke to Officer Novak," she said. Clara asked about travel papers for the kids. Noah's face drained. She was going to take them? She may have wanted to, Grandma said. Or she wanted someone to think she would. Either way, she thought about it. Noah rubbed his forehead hard. I can't breathe when I think about that. Grandma didn't soften. Then breathe now. And listen. Mrs. Patel saw Clara get an envelope from a stranger. Noah blinked. An envelope? Grandma nodded. And your bank shows transfers you didn't make. Noah's eyes dropped to the table. His voice went hoarse. There's something I didn't tell you. Grandma's stomach tightened. Say it. Noah swallowed. We had debt. Not a little. More than you think. Grandma's eyes narrowed. How? Noah's hands shook. Clara said she had a way to fix it. She said someone could help, someone abroad. I told her no, we argued. Then she said she already handled it. Grandma's voice turned cold. Handled it how? Noah stared at his own fingers. I don't know. She wouldn't explain, she just said, trust me. Grandma leaned forward, her voice low and steady like a warning bell. Secrets don't fix debt, Noah. Secrets grow teeth. Noah's eyes filled. I didn't want to believe she'd do something dangerous. Grandma sat back, thinking hard. Then she stood and opened a kitchen drawer. She pulled out the folded paper found in Nina's backpack and placed it in front of Noah again. Hotel in Prague, she said. This is where the police might check. Noah stared at the paper like it was a snake. Why would she hide it in Nina's bag? Grandma's voice softened just a little, but her eyes stayed sharp, because sometimes people hide clues where they think only family will find them. Noah looked up slowly. So, you think she wanted us to follow? Grandma didn't answer right away. She looked out the window at the street, calm and normal, like nothing was wrong. I think, Grandma said finally, Clara was trying to run from something. Noah whispered, and maybe she ran straight into it. Grandma Grace closed her notebook with a firm tap. Then we don't panic, she said. We prepare, we protect the kids, and we tell Officer Novak everything. No more missing pieces. Noah nodded, wiping his face. No more secrets. A quiet moment passed. Then Grandma's phone buzzed again. She glanced at the screen. A new message notification. No name, just a number. Only 6 words showed on the preview. I'm sorry. Don't tell Noah. Grandma Grace froze. Her breath caught in her chest, and she slowly turned the phone so Noah couldn't see it yet. Grandma Grace stared at the message until the letters blurred. I'm sorry. Don't tell Noah. Her first thought was anger. Her second thought was fear. because those 6 words did not sound like a happy woman on a vacation. They sounded like a woman hiding. Grandma locked her phone and stood up so fast her chair scraped the floor. Noah looked up. What? Grandma forced her face to stay normal. Nothing you need to worry about right now, she said, but her heart was pounding. Lying to Noah felt wrong, yet showing him that message right now could break him in front of the kids later. And she still didn't know who else might be watching. Grandma walked to the hallway, or where her voice couldn't reach the street through open windows, and called Officer Novak. He answered quickly. Mrs. Grace? I just got a message, Grandma said. From an unknown number, it says, I'm sorry, don't tell Noah. There was a short pause. Could it be Clara? Officer Novak asked. I don't know, Grandma said, but it feels like her. Do not reply, Officer Novak said firmly. Not yet. Forward me a screenshot if you can. We'll handle it properly. Grandma swallowed. What about the hotel note? Prague? We're moving on that, he said. We already contacted the right office abroad. A welfare check can be requested when there's concern for safety. Your information helps. Grandma exhaled, slow. Good. And one more thing, Officer Novak added. Keep the children's routine calm. The less chaos they feel, the better. Grandma ended the call and stood still for a second, collecting herself. Then she did what she always did when fear tried to take over. She worked. She made a small plan on paper. School pickup times, meals, bath time, bedtime. She wrote, no yelling, in big letters. She wrote, no secrets beneath it, and circled it. When Tommy and Nina came home from school, Grandma made them toast with honey and warm milk. Nina talked a little about her drawing. Tommy asked for extra toast for later, like he worried food might vanish again. Noah arrived after dinner, clean shirt, hair brushed, trying to look like a steady dad. He sat on the floor and helped Nina build a puzzle. He didn't do it perfectly. His hands shook a bit, but he stayed. Grandma watched him closely. She didn't need fancy words. She needed proof. Later, when after the kids were asleep, Grandma closed the living room door and faced Noah in the kitchen. Noah, she said quietly, I'm going to tell you something and you are not going to shout. Noah's throat moved. Okay. Grandma unlocked her phone and showed him the message. Noah read it once, then again. His face went pale. That's her, he whispered. That's how she writes. Short, like she's afraid of words. Grandma nodded. Officer Novak says we don't reply. Noah's eyes filled. Why would she say, don't tell me? Grandma's voice was calm but heavy. Because she is either ashamed or controlled. Noah covered his mouth with his hand, trying not to make noise. Grandma reached across and squeezed his wrist. Listen to me. This is not the moment to collapse. It's the moment to be a father. Noah nodded, eyes shining. I'll do whatever you say. The next morning, Officer Novak called again. The welfare check happened, he said. Grandma's stomach twisted. And? Clara was located, he said. She is alive. Grandma shut her eyes for 1 second in relief. Is she safe? She's not in a good situation, Officer Novak said carefully. The man you identified, Milan, was involved. There are signs she was under pressure connected to money. We can't share every detail yet, but this is serious. Grandma gripped the phone. so she didn't leave just for love. No, Officer Novak said, and we have enough to continue working with authorities there. Grandma's voice sharpened. What about the kids? Will she try to take them? We have safeguards, he said, and because she left them alone, that will matter in any decision going forward. Grandma swallowed. Thank you. When she ended the call, she stood in the kitchen with the morning light on her hands. She felt tired all the way into her bones, but she also felt something else. Clarity. She went to the living room where Noah was sitting, staring at the wall like it was a screen showing the worst movie ever. Noah, Grandma said. He looked up, desperate. Tell me. Grandma sat across from him. They found her. She's alive, but she's in trouble. It wasn't a normal trip. Noah's shoulders collapsed. He didn't look relieved, he looked crushed. So she left us in the dark. Because of money? Grandma didn't soften it. Secrets made this worse. Both of you made choices. Now you fix what you can. Noah's eyes went down. I failed. Grandma leaned forward. You failed for one night. Don't turn it into a lifetime. He stared at her. Grandma continued. You will meet with Miss Irena when she calls. You will show up for every police question. You will lock down your accounts. You will focus on Tommy and Nina, and you will stop pretending shame is more important than safety. Noah's lip trembled. I can do that. Grandma nodded. Good, because the kids need a dad, not a ghost. That evening, Noah sat with Tommy and Nina and told them the truth in simple words. Mom is far away, he said gently. She made a bad choice, but Grandma and I are here, and we will keep you safe. Nina's eyes filled. Is it our fault? No, Noah said, voice breaking. Never. Tommy asked, will she come back? Noah took a breath and looked at Grandma. Grandma gave him a tiny nod. Noah answered, we don't know yet. But whatever happens, you will not be left alone again. Tommy stared at him for a long moment. Then he nodded once. It wasn't a big, happy ending smile, but it was something better. Trust. Starting to grow back. Days later, Ms. Irena checked in again. She saw the kids fed, clean, calmer. She saw Noah showing up, helping, listening. She approved the plan for the children to remain with Grandma Grace, while Noah rebuilt stability. Grandma didn't celebrate with balloons. She celebrated by making the kids pancakes and watching them laugh just a little at the syrup moustaches. Because safety is the first kind of happiness. And that night, when Grandma Grace finally lay down, the dark felt different. Not gone, but quieter. Like the house understood one thing. Grandma Grace had answered the 3 a.m. scream. And she didn't just rescue 2 children, she pulled her whole family back from the edge.